This chapter is about high level and low level languages. But before going in detail about the languages, you must know about what is a program. Um, Basically, a program is a list of instructions that is for the computer to perform a specific task. These programs can be created or developed using a high level or a low level language. Okay. These program perform different tasks, and you can see different programs running in your computer like Microsoft Word, a calculator, different apps in your mobile, in your cell phone. So these are all programs, these are all software, they perform certain tasks. So these programs are developed using a high level language most of the time, but a few programs are also developed in low level languages. So first, let's discuss the high level language. So high level language is basically designed with the programmers in mind. Okay, a high level language is easier for the programmer to write the program, to understand the language, to debug. Debugging means to trace errors in the program. It takes less time to develop the program because it is a user friendly language. And once the program has been written, the program can also be maintained as well. So these are few features of the high level language. uh, Anyone can understand the high level language, any instruction written in a high level language, whether you understand the logic, whether or not you understand the logic of the program, but still you will be able to read the instruction, to read that instruction easily. um, for example, this is one of the instruction written in a high level language, and you can clearly see these two numbers have been added together and the answer is being stored in sum. So that makes sense. um, let's say if you want to multiply two numbers, um, x multiplied by y, and you can store the result in z. So this is a high level instruction. So high level instruction or a programming language is easier to understand, to write the program, to debug the program, to maintain the program. And the commonly used high level languages these days, or you can see the list: C++, Delphi, Java, Pascal, Python, Visual Basic, and there are a lot of other programming languages as well. Okay, so you can choose whenever you want to learn any language. You will have to learn its syntax first, um, and then you will have to understand the basic constructs of that language. Only then you will be able to write the instruction. So all the languages have different syntax. Okay, and their rules are mostly the same. If you work in one language, you can work in any other language as well, because these are sometimes called the transferable skills. Okay, just like if you learn how to drive one car, and then you can easily drive any other car. So these are the transferable skills. Okay, then coming towards low level languages. So low level languages are basically machine dependent languages, and low level languages are further divided into categories: assembly language and the machine language. Okay, so assembly language, which is one of the low level language, it is used basically for a certain special type of hardware, special machine dependent instructions. Machine dependent means when you write the instructions on a certain machine or computer, so that instruction will run only on that computer. It will not run on any other machine. Okay, and the code written in the assembly language doesn't take up much memory, much of the primary memory. and the code will run quicker as compared to the code written in high level language, because assembly language is a low level language which is very close to the machine language, which is a binary, because computer only understands the binary language. These are the few instructions written in assembly language. Okay, this is just equal to the instruction written in a high level language. This instruction is written in a high level language. This is only one instruction. Okay, and when you write the similar instruction in a low level language, you will have to write 3 different instructions. Okay, so in all it's writing the instruction, or its usage, or its debugging, so all the benefit goes to the high level language. Then coming towards the machine language. So usually programmer don't write the machine code. Okay, don't write their programs using the machine code, because it is extremely difficult to write, because it consists of only the binary numbers, zeros and ones. Okay, if any instruction is written in the terms of zeros and ones, you will not be able to understand it unless you convert it into the human readable language. So machine language is used by the machine, by the computer, because computer only understands the machine language, because it has logic circuits, and logic circuits use different electrical signals, and the signal has only 2 states, on and off. So computer can only understand the binary language. So any other instruction written, whether in assembly language or in a high level language, that must be converted into the machine code so that computer can understand it. Okay, so all the code will be translated into the machine code, machine language. Assembly language needs a little bit translation. Okay, if I write it in a different levels. So at the top level, there is a high level language, and then comes the assembly language, and then comes the machine language. So this is the machine language. Here we have the assembly language. This is one of the instructions, LDA. And here we have at the top, it's a high level language. So all the instructions written in a high level language must be converted into the machine language. It will take, more conversion to convert it into machine language as compared to converting the assembly language into the machine language, because assembly language, you can say, one step higher than the machine language. Okay. Here is the example of machine code. Okay, on the left side, um, the values are given in hexadecimal, and on the right side, these values have been converted into the machine language. Okay, so this is the machine code. Next, coming towards the translators. So translators are also the programs. Okay, because when we write the code in high level language, that must be translated into the machine language, because computer only understands machine language. So translators are the softwares which are used to translate the code written in a high level language or a machine language into the high level language and assembly language into the machine language. So let's see how many types of translators we use. uh, we have 3 types of translators: the compiler, interpreter, and assembler. Okay, let's summarize them in the form of table here. And let me tell you, these first 2 translators, are for translating the high level language. Okay, and this translator is the assembler is for the low level language. Okay, so these are two. The first two are for the for translation of high level language into the machine code. Ultimately, we will go to the machine code. Okay, this will translate into machine code, and these two translator also translate the code in into the machine code. So now let's see what is their difference. The compiler converts the whole program in one go. When you complete the program, you have written the whole program and then you compile it. Okay, only then computer can understand it. Okay, it converts the whole program in one go. While the interpreter translates, converts each line at a time, each statement at a time. So whenever there are certain errors in the program, the computer stops after each line. While in compiler, the program shows the list of errors at the end. Okay, whether there are 3, 4, or 5 errors in your program, that list will be shown at the end. While interpreter will show you as soon as it has converted a line into the machine code. Okay, so these are translators, so they can detect the errors while translating the program into the machine code. They both have same purpose at the end. They both convert the code into the machine form, but the compiler converts the whole program while the interpreter converts each statement at a time. Compiler can also convert the executable, can also generate an executable file, while the interpreter cannot generate executable file. Okay, we also call it exe file as well. So exe file, you can say it is machine code, though it's not the full machine code, but you can, for your understanding, the compiler has converted everything into the machine code. So now when you run that code on any other computer, so you don't use compiler. So you can link this point with the fourth point as well. So compiled programs are used without the compiler, okay? While the interpreted programs will always use the interpreter. Okay. One high-level language statement can be translated into several machine code instructions. Okay, as we have already seen, you know, just a moment ago. Um, in the same way, this point is same for the interpreter. And the last point is about a compiled program is usually distributed for general use. Okay. For example, you purchase any game or a software that you want to install. So you get the compiled version of that program. Okay. You just install it in your computer. So interpreter is mostly used when the program is being developed, right? Okay. Okay. Assembler converts the assembly language, which is a low-level language, into the machine code. Okay. So it has almost 3 points similar to the compiler. Okay. This point where the compiler and assembler both can create an executable file. Um, Assembled programs can be used without the assembler, just like the compiler. Compiled programs are used without the compiler. And assembled program is usually distributed for general use. So these 2 points are different here. So assembler basically is used to translate a low level, okay, it's assembly language, which is a low level language, into the machine code. And secondly, the assembler can produce each statement, can convert each statement into one machine statement. It is a one-to-one relation, right? Okay. Uh, Whenever this translation process is done, so there is a possibility of errors as well. Okay, because our translator translates high level or a machine or assembly language into the machine code. But during that conversion, there are chances that things go wrong. There are two types of error: the syntax error and the logic error. Okay. Okay, syntax error is where a program statement doesn't obey the rules of a programming language. What does that mean? For example, in a high-level language, certain high-level language, you wanted to input certain value, and this was a command, okay, a statement, and you were supposed to write input. But instead writing input, you have mistakenly written, you made a spelling mistake. Okay, so this is the violation of the basic rules of a programming language. Okay, so the compiler or interpreter will easily trace such types of errors. So whenever during the translation, whenever syntax error is encountered, the compiler stops translation. Okay, so the list of errors is shown. So the programmer corrects these error and recompiles the program. Okay, until all the errors are corrected. So in interpreted programs, so interpreter stops you after each line. So if this was line number 1, so the interpreter will stop there, okay, and will ask you, there is certain error in this line, so you'll have to correct it before going to the next line. While in logic errors, is the error where the program doesn't do what the programmer wanted to do it. What does that mean? That means, for example, user wanted to find the sum of two numbers like x and y, but he made a mistake. Instead of writing a plus symbol, a plus operator, he has written a minus operator. Now the computer will not be able to give such errors, will not able to trace such error, but the computer will show a wrong result, let's say x was 7 and y was 3. Actually, the user wanted the sum equal to 10. That was user's expectations, while the answer was 4. So now the user will have to trace such error by himself, okay? Because this was the error in the basic logic of the statement. So the result was not according to the programmer's expectations. And next is the IDE, interactive or integrated development environment. So each language, any high level language provides you this IDE. So what are the basic features of the IDE? That is important, that you can be asked in the exam. So it consists of an editor just like this. This is an editor where a programmer writes its code, and with a interpreter or compiler, because different languages use different translators. Okay, and few debugging tools are where the programmer can trace its error by using these tools. Okay, tracing the error and then correcting them. So it will actually, these feature improve the speed of program development. Okay, if these features are not available, if these features are not available, then the programmer will take long time to develop the program.